What's up guys, this is John from Next Level PvP. In this video we're going to go over the importance for keybinds for your character. We're going to go over how they are important to every class, warrior specifically, and finally my keybinds and why they are set up that way. I just want to mention before I go into the video guys, I'm just questing in the background as you can see. Just focus your attention on the bottom left side of the screen as I speak. First, let's go over what keybinds are. Keybinds are when you assign specific keys to specific abilities, macros, and whatever else you can think of to only work to that specific keystroke. This allows for you to keep your eyes on what's going on when you PvP and to allow you more control of your character, mobility-wise and instinctive-wise. Here I can show you a real-time example of what happens if I only click on my abilities instead of assigning them to my specific keys that I have already. Alright guys, here I'm actually moving some of my abilities so I can actually click my spells because my abilities aren't all together because I don't click them, they're all macroed or keybinded. So here it's just going to be me basically clicking. When I was recording this, my cursor wasn't showing up when I was recording, so just gotta trust me, I'm keybinding here, or not keybinding here, just clicking. You'll see that I'm not even pummeling because by the time when I click my ability, I look up, he's almost halfway done with his spell, whether it's Mind Blast or Vampiric Touch, and you'll see at the end, yeah, I'm not even pummeling because I can't click over that fast. That's how slow it is when you do not keybind. I do end up getting a kill here, but you'll see what I mean. Just very, very slow. Actually started to get frustrated as I was facing this dude. Now let me show you what happens when I use my keybinds and try to notice a difference from before and now when I'm using my keybinds as opposed to before when I wasn't. Now that you have seen what it's like during a real situation, let's talk about keybinds a little more. First off, playing without keybinds is more manageable with a ranged class as opposed to a melee class. You rely less on mobility when you are ranged, when melee, moving around with your character is very important to do whatever your role is, mainly damage. Secondly, if you decide to keybind your character, I personally guarantee you better success at any aspect of the game, PvP or PvE. Finally, when you begin to assign your keybinds to specific abilities, get ready to practice a lot because you will end up playing your character based off muscle memory. So practice is very important. When you end up becoming familiar with your keybinds, your gameplay will be all based off of instinct and reactions instead of just looking down the spell that you want to use and clicking on it. Let's go into my personal reasons why my keybinds are the way they are and what keybind is designed to which abilities or macro. Just let me remind you that when I go into my keybinds that all my keybinds are personal. Just because I have my keybinds a certain way doesn't mean they're right or wrong, or that you have to copy them. It's all based off preference. That's an important thing to remember. Do whatever is comfortable for you. Okay guys, basically on my keyboard here, I have my main damage abilities keybinded to this side of the keyboard. I'm going to show you my mouse in a second. 1 is charge for me, 2 is mortal strike, 3 is overpower, 4 is piercing howl. It's not really damage, but I do use it a lot. I also have Q as my slam. W and A and D I use for movement. I use A and D for strafing. I do use W to move forward. Now there's an option you could do is to move forward. I know that you can hold down the left mouse button and the right mouse button at the same time, and that will make you move forward instead of holding down W. But when I play my character, I'm fine holding down W just to move forward. A and D, again, like I said, I used to use for strafing. So E is my hamstring, R is my execute. Also F is my spell reflect. And finally, S key is my focus charge. You will always be made fun of if you use S to move backwards in WoW. People always say in Arena that, oh, look at this guy, he's just spamming his S key, meaning, you know, he saw you move backwards in Arena. That's a no-no, especially in Arena and Battlegrounds. So I just want to point out to you that if you're going to keybind, make sure you bind that S key to something besides move backwards, because you will get trolled for it, and don't say I didn't warn you. You can go farther on with the keys, but I don't need to because I have my mouse with, what, 12 buttons, so it's all good. Now when I use my modifier keys, which is shift, you can have control as a modifier too. Also your keyboard, you can assign more modifiers depending on how much you need. But I only have shift as my modifier, because again I also have my mouse buttons over here that I can combine with shift, and my keyboard right here. So anyway, for my shift modifier on my keyboard, I use shift 1 is my heroic leap, shift 2 is my macro for use symbiosis. I don't know why I put it there, I just had room on my keyboard at the time. Shift 3 is I use my berserker rage, and shift 4 I don't have anything assigned, and shift 5 nothing. So I can always assign more things later if I need to. I have the rest over here on my Razor Naga mouse. Alright, just give you an idea of my keybinds on my mouse, I'll just list them in order here. Got 1 is pummel, 2 is disarm, 3 is focus pummel, 4 is fear, 5 is retaliation, or die by the sword now. 6 is my burst macro, recklessness, use PB trinket, all that stuff. And 7 is my mocking banner macro, 8 is my demoralizing banner macro to intervene to, and 9 through 12 I do not have bounded right now. Alright, for my shift mouse button keybinds, I basically have nothing bounded really. Shift 1's nothing, believe it or not. Shift 2 is shattering throw, shift 3 is my battle shout macro, shift 4 is my switch defensive stance, equip sword and board macro. Shift 5 is nothing. Pretty much shift 5 to 12 is nothing. Believe it or not, warriors don't have that many abilities that need to be keybinded as much as, say, a mage would, because there's different responsibilities a mage has in Arena compared to a warrior. And also the abilities, like I said. So don't be shocked that there's not many shift Razor Naga buttons modify or keybinded for me. It's totally normal. So again, it's preference. I could put all my shift modifiers that I did in my keyboard on to my mouse instead and just combine them all, but I didn't. This is how I like it, and it's working out great for me. Alright guys, there's going to be a part 2 of my keybinding video coming out in a couple days. I just wanted to thank you for watching, and again, it's going to be definitely a more depth keybinding video to give you more of a perspective on starting to keybind if you're a new player, or just changing up your keybinds even. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.